Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we're going to be providing an update on one of my top picks in the biotech sector. The name is Avalon GloboCare, and this company has a lot of really exciting things going for them that we're going to talk about in today's presentation. Now before we get into it, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a big help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below if you're currently holding shares of Avalon, what you think about this organization, and how they stack up to other players in the biotech space. Now with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be providing an update on Avalon GloboCare Corporation. You can see here, trades on the NASDAQ in the United States under the new ticker symbol ALBT. Now this one's super exciting for a number of reasons. We've covered this company multiple times on the channel, and this is one of those stocks, the more I look into it, the more I like it. So you can see they were down about 6% as of close. This is on Friday, December 9th, or 2 cents per share to close out at 32 cents. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the presentation. But if you bring up a 6-month chart, you can see this company has really had some aggressive moves over the last couple of months that I wanted to talk about in today's presentation. So you can see back in July, they were trading in the 45-cent range. Then August 4th, they jumped all the way up to 75 cents. We had another low September 23rd of about 43 cents, and then a big spike up to 71 cents. Another low on November 2nd, and then a big spike up to 63 cents on the 8th, so some rapid movement, and we've now pulled back into that 30-cent range, making this a great opportunity to pick up shares at a fraction of the price you could have only a couple of months ago. And the thinking here is if and when this company makes another big breakout, there's great upside potential because of a lot of the strategic moves that management has made over the last couple of quarters. Now, for those of you who've missed our previous coverage on Avalon, I'll jump over to the corporate website in a second, but I wanted to bring up this article from biotechstockmarketnews.com. They give a very good summary of what Avalon GloboCare is all about, and they actually lay out 7 reasons why they're so excited or bullish on this stock moving forward. So we're going to refer to this article again later in the presentation, and I'll leave a link to both the corporate website and this research report in the video description below. So in terms of who or what Avalon GloboCare is all about, they're a clinical stage vertically integrated leading cell tech biodeveloper that's dedicated to advancing and empowering innovative transformative immune effector cell therapy, exosome technology, as well as cell therapy related companion diagnostics. And we're going to look at these various different platforms next up in the presentation. Avalon also provides strategic advisory and outsourcing services, and through their subsidiary structure, with unique integration of verticals from innovative R&D to automated bioproduction and accelerated clinical development, Avalon is establishing a leading role in the fields of cellular immunotherapy, including their CAR-T and NK platforms, along with exosome technology under their ACTEX trademark platform. And last but not least, regenerative therapeutics, again, which we're going to touch on in a second here. Now, if we quickly jump over to the corporate website and we look at their core platforms, I wanted to spend a couple of seconds just reminding you guys what this company's got in terms of their IP or intellectual property portfolio. Now, in terms of their upstream innovative research, they've co-developed their Avalon clinical grade tissue-specific exosome, that's the ACTEX platform, in partnership with Weill Cornell Medicine. They have their novel therapeutics and diagnostics target development utilizing that QTY protein design that we've talked about in previous videos. That's in partnership with MIT or the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And they've helped co-develop the next generation transposon-based multi-target CAR-T, CAR-NK, and other immune effector cell therapy modalities in partnership with Arbele Corporation. So that's really the upstream or R&D component of this organization. Now, in terms of their midstream activity, they've got a bioprocessing and bioproduction facility located in Nanjing, China, with state-of-the-art automated GMP and QC/QA infrastructure for standardized biomanufacturing of clinical-grade cellular products involved in their clinical programs in immune effector cell therapy, regenerative therapeutics, as we just mentioned, and biobanking. So the midstream component of this organization is really focused on the production of a lot of these cutting-edge technologies. Now, in terms of the downstream activity, they've got a medical team and facility consisting of top-rated affiliate hospital networks and experts who are specialized in hematology, oncology, cellular immunotherapy, hematopoietic stem and progenitor cell transplants, as well as regenerative therapeutics. And if we actually jump over to the next slide here, you can see a breakdown again of that upstream, midstream, and downstream activity, which gives this company that true vertical integration, which is a key point of differentiation from Avalon compared to some of the other biotech plays. So there you've got the QTY-code engineered technology known as AVA-Trap, their next generation multi-target RNA-based FASH-CAR technology, and the ACTEX platform that we mentioned on the last slide. Now, in addition to that, they've got their laboratory services division, which we're going to talk about in a second here, which gives them access to the world's largest clinical outcome databases, prognostic monitoring, development and commercialization of companion diagnostic kits, and opportunities of technology transfer and licensing in the areas of laboratory medicine and hematopathology. Now, another one of the key differentiators of Avalon GloboCare is really their robust portfolio of intellectual property. We're going to talk about some of these patents a little bit later in the presentation, but they've jointly filed 16 patents overall, and they have a broad and deep IP asset base with patent coverage across a number of key enabling technologies in both the cell tech and laboratory medicine divisions. And this slide here again refers to that strong IP portfolio and specifically calls out some of those strategic partnerships we saw in the previous slide, which again is a key differentiator for this organization. Now, I mentioned their laboratory services division. This was a major acquisition that we covered in the last video I put out on Avalon GloboCare. And in addition to the benefits I just described, this is also extremely accretive to overall earnings, as laboratory services had unaudited revenues in excess of $25 million and net income in excess of $10 million in 2021. So this was a big acquisition and really adds a great component to this company moving forward. Now, for those of you who followed this series closely, a lot of this stuff we've discussed in previous videos. However, if we jump over to the article from biotechstockmarketnews.com, this is a brand new research report that I wanted to spend the remainder of today's video really dissecting and talking about in a little bit more detail. So the article is titled "The Tiny Biotech Stock with an Explosive Chart History That Could Be Ready for Another Move After Making an Astonishing 97% Move in the month of November. What could December and January have in store for Avalon GloboCare?" And that's why I wanted to bring up that chart and talk about some of those spikes we've seen over the last 6 months in the intro, because that's exactly what this article is talking about. So as we continue to scroll down, you can see they lay out 7 key reasons why they're excited about Avalon GloboCare or bullish about this company moving forward that could set Avalon up for unstoppable growth throughout 2023. So I'll go through these quickly and then we'll talk about them in a little bit more detail as we move through this article. So number 1, we just referenced Avalon made a 97% move in the month of November when it started from its intraday low of 38 cents on November 1st and reached an intraday high of nearly 75 cents on November 8th. So in just 7 days, you guys, this company jumped 97% before pulling back to its current level that we saw in the intro. Now, the second point here really talks about how this company is flying under a lot of investors' radar. So after its recent pullback, Avalon could be one of 2022's most overlooked biotech stocks, with shares trading now in that 34 to 37 cent range as of December 5th. And again, as of close on the 9th, we're sitting at 32 cents. So because this is a penny stock, it's trading under $1, it's got a low market cap, it doesn't necessarily meet the requirements of a lot of the big financial institutions or institutional investors. And that's exactly where you want to find opportunities as a retail investor in companies like this. The third point, extremely bullish here, you guys, is insider ownership and insider buying. So over the past 12 months, we're actually going to look at a chart of this in a second. Insiders at Avalon have bought way more shares than they've sold. One of the key directors at this organization has acquired over 10 million shares in Avalon. They recently bought back in August an additional 448,000 shares at an average of 78 cents. So you're able to pick up shares for less than half of what the director was buying at. And this is really something, especially for small cap stocks like this, that I absolutely love to see. So again, we're going to look at a chart breaking down those buy orders in a second. The fourth point really talks about cracking that cancer code. So this is one that we've talked about in previous videos, but that recent announcement and research study that applies artificial intelligence or AI to their QTY protein design technology. So this is going to be a big catalyst for this organization moving forward. The fifth point talks about these FDA approvals. So the company is headquartered in New Jersey in an area that's known as a biotech hotbed. And between 2020 and 2021, there was actually 70 new FDA approved drugs in this area of New Jersey alone, which again puts Avalon in the right place at the right time. 6 is related to that, really focused on their patent portfolio. So they've jointly filed those 16 patents we talked about a little bit earlier in the presentation. And the 7th or final point really talks about that M&A activity or that big acquisition that we looked at in the investor presentation. And that, of course, was that agreement to acquire a 60% controlling interest in laboratory services to expand their focus on lab testing and the related services. Now, the article then goes on to talk about the Avalon chart, and this is exactly what we saw in the intro. So you can see these big jumps, you guys, anywhere from 43% all the way up to 97% that we saw back in November. So this company has a history of making aggressive breakouts, and we've seen this a number of times over the last couple of quarters. And what this actually means is there could be potential upside in excess of 214% if Avalon GloboCare is able to get back to their 52-week high that we saw earlier in the year. And they then talk about the 5 instances we've already seen in 2022 where we saw those big jumps in share price. Now, for the technical traders out there, I also wanted to throw in a couple of key numbers here to watch. So the 50-day moving average, this is as of December 5th, is sitting at 48 cents. The 200-day moving average is sitting at 56 cents. And the 14-day exponential moving average was sitting at just north of 40 cents at that point in time, which will be the first line of resistance to watch Avalon cross. So definitely some key numbers to keep an eye on here, again, especially for those technical traders that are watching this video. Now, the next section talks about those insider buys we saw. So this is actually a breakdown. You can see the director's name and the date of each trade listed here, and the total shares that were actually purchased anywhere from $1.25 back in December of 2021 all the way to the most recent buys at 78 cents. Again, that's at 448,000 shares that we saw picked up in the middle of summer there. Now, if you look at the actual value of these purchases, you guys, this is tens of millions of dollars worth of stock that's being purchased. So people wouldn't go out and buy this volume and this quantity of shares unless they were extremely convinced in the long-term viability of an organization like Avalon GloboCare. So again, an extremely bullish sign for me to see, and you're able to pick up shares for less than half of what this director was purchasing on the open market. And again, as of December 5th, Avalon insiders held about 33% of the company, which is a great sign to see for anyone who's looking to make a potential investment. So now that we've taken a look at the chart and some of the insider buying, I wanted to switch gears a little bit and talk about some of the technology specifically related to the patents that have been filed from Avalon GloboCare. So this one's in relation to their QTY protein design code. And what's really exciting about this, you guys, this was developed jointly with MIT, and Avalon GloboCare recently received a notice of allowance from the US Patent and Trademark Office related to the QTY fusion water-soluble receptor protein. And we've actually talked about this technology in previous videos. Now, this patent was again jointly filed with MIT and covers 7 claims related to the underlying technology. Now, Avalon has also submitted a new patent application to the US Patent Office related to their QTY glucose transporter technology. And this QTY-code technology really is a breakthrough that can turn difficult to work with water-insoluble transport membrane receptor proteins into water-soluble proteins. So this enables their potential use in many clinical applications, including drug development, and could open up major opportunities for Avalon GloboCare moving forward. So a great example of how the team at Avalon is continuing to strengthen their IP portfolio and make huge strides again on the cutting edge of research and development in the biotech space. Now, sticking with the QTY-code theme, Avalon has also announced publications on the QTY-code technology in the official journal of the American Chemical Society, which is a top-ranked peer-reviewed scientific journal. The publication, which was titled Protein Design from the Aspect of Water Solubility and Stability focuses on that innovative QTY-code protein design and the advances that Avalon has made since licensing this technology from MIT. So when we talk about this company being under the radar, this is a great example of how they're really bringing this technology to people in the industry and letting the greater community know about the amazing things that are being done in this organization. And that's really a perfect segue to this section here that talks about that expanding IP portfolio, specifically those 16 new patent applications from Avalon. So early in 2022, Avalon announced that they jointly filed 16 patent applications through the US Patent and Trademark Office, the China National Intellectual Property Administration, and the Patent Cooperation Treaty, which covers an additional 36 countries. Now, this intellectual property was really focused on 3 core patent families, so engineering and biomanufacturing of novel chimeric antigen receptors, or CAR-T cells, related to the mRNA-based FASH-CARTM cellular therapy platform. So that's really related to their AVA-011 CAR-T cell therapy candidate, which we've discussed in previous videos. The next patent family focused on was really related to this solubility component and their QTY protein design. And the third patent family was this novel S-layer coated emulsion technology, which essentially acts as a molecular GPS system in the body to guide the trafficking and delivering of payloads to various different targets within a patient's body. So really a number of key developments from Avalon that continue to make this company's portfolio of intellectual property even more attractive. And that's exactly what you see from the president and CEO of Avalon. These latest patent applications solidify and expand our robust IP portfolio, both in the United States and internationally. Now, the final section I wanted to cover in today's presentation really relates to this big acquisition we saw on November 10th in relation to laboratory services, which we briefly touched on a little bit earlier in the presentation. And the reason why this is so transformational for this organization is because this gives them a brick and mortar laboratory to really round out their overall portfolio. Now, laboratory services has conducted over 600,000 tests since inception. Again, it's already producing about $25 million of revenue per year, with net income in excess of $10 million. Now, Laboratory Services is headquartered in California, Costa Mesa, California, and they provide a broad range of different diagnostic tests, drug testing, toxicology, general blood work, anatomic pathology, and urine toxicology tests. So a wide range of different services that are currently being offered. So an established organization based in the United States that's developed a premier reputation for customer service and fast turnaround times in the industry, and again really complements the existing portfolio that Avalon GloboCare has developed. And I should note the 600,000 tests since inception were conducted between their 2 various different locations, both in California. So again, the president and CEO of Avalon goes on to say this is a transformative acquisition for Avalon. It brings significant revenue and positive cash flow and is expected to be highly accretive to earnings while adding strong clinical synergies to their existing Avalon portfolio. So with that being said, you guys, a ton to be excited about in terms of Avalon GloboCare. 7 key reasons are laid out in this article, plus all the points of differentiation that we talked about earlier in the presentation. I'd be super curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you currently holding shares of ALBT? What do you think about their intellectual property and this recent acquisition? And how do you think Avalon stacks up to other players in the biotech space? Now, if you're still watching the video at this point, hopefully you found some value, so make sure you hit the like button. And if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.